afternoon. Jones and Keefe here on WEEI. We're taking you up until 2 o'clock. We got your phone calls, 617-779-7937. We've been pretty much all Patriots to this point. Tail of the tape, Pats and Broncos, AFC title game, Taylor Kyles, a couple of Would You Rathers in there. Plus, we did talk some MLB Hall of Fame, Andrew Jones and Carlos Beltran. Two undeserving Hall of Famers.
Yikes.
But two Hall of Famers nonetheless.
Sure.
Haven't talked Celtics yet. Justin Turpin, weei.com, joins us every Wednesday. What's up, Turp?
What's up, guys? You want pure hoops.
Yes.
That was what that was the other day.
Yeah,
that was a good basketball
You like
game.
that game? You've actually said this to us on the air now and off the air
shut up
numerous
about
times.
it.
Yeah, you like that game. What do you like about that game?
I like the physicality. I also like those are the best two teams in the Eastern Conference, and I don't think it's up for debate. The Knicks stink. They've lost 9 of 11,
completely
4 straight.
fallen apart. Yeah.
That loss to the Mavericks, man, like their injury report's longer than a CVS receipt.
Yeah,
like everybody's on there,
Uh-huh.
and you're getting blown out at home and booed. Like those are the two best teams in the Eastern Conference, and sign me up for 7 games of that come the spring.
Yeah, we're at the halfway point. Do you think how likely is it Pistons Celtics Eastern Conference Finals?
I mean, just looking at who would compare with those two right now. The Knicks?
It would have to be like a trade, right? Or something like I'm looking at. I don't see any of those teams really coming out.
I'm meeting ever worked out?
No, the players' meetings don't work.
So Jalen Brunson's calling one of those. It feels like they're not coming out of this.
That's like a white flag. I wouldn't rule Cleveland out, but then again,
So Cleveland is the team that I was gonna say.
Yeah, that'd be my next team on the list.
I still can't quit them for some reason. Just because of last year, they almost won 70 games.
I'm not totally giving up on the Knicks, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, they could be.
They're playing very poor right now, but
but they have a couple really good.
They just don't play defense. They don't play any defense whatsoever. And I guess you can kind of look at that. We talked about it all last spring. Their best two players that you can't take off the floor for them, Karl Anthony Towns and Jaylen Brown, are their worst defenders.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard to survive like that. But they just don't play any defense. And their offense is built to be this high-octane offense, but they turn the ball over too much, and they haven't been able to score points. So I don't know. I mean, you feel like they would turn it around a little bit, but even looking at when the Celtics have matched up with them, they've played them really well with the exception of the second quarter in the second game of the year when they played in New York. I mean, when they came here, Jaylen Brown had 42 points or whatever, they really kept Brunson in check. So I don't know. I probably would take the Celtics over the Knicks even looking towards the long term, but I mean, all that changes in the postseason, right?
Oh, for sure.
Peyton Pritchard mentioned that the other day. Like, they were 4-0. They blew the doors off the Knicks all regular season. Come the postseason, it was a different story. So I think you do kind of take it with a grain of salt.
It's really impressive what they've done, though. I mean, 42 games into the season, they're the 2 seed.
Yeah.
I was like,
they're on pace.
6 seed.
They're on pace for what, like 50 wins?
51. Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's really good. Now, Jayson Tatum, he's been at all the games. We see him. You guys saw him recently. Like, what are we thinking now for a target date for Tatum?
I mean, him working out with the media right there was a sign of, like, don't forget me. Like, don't forget, like, this is coming.
So you agree with that? Because that was Mannix had a tweet about this. He's like, this is not an accident.
100%.
This is not just like some video they released in the training. This was in front of the media filming it.
No doubt. Because he's been there working out at different times at the Arbeck Center. We've gotten glimpses of it, but it's very minimal stuff that we've been able to see.
Right.
Like him, taking station jump shots, like none of this off the dribble stuff, none of this dunking, none of this going with defensive pressure. Like, we haven't seen any of that. So I think him doing that in front of the media was very calculated, and him saying, like, hey, don't forget, because this is coming down the pipeline here soon.
It's pretty crazy. And there had been different theories and like Reddit theories about when he's going to return.
The 8th. People are all over the 8th against
right?
the Knicks.
So that is Super Bowl Sunday.
It's a nationally televised game on ABC.
What a day that would be. Jayson Tatum comes back and the Patriots play in the Super Bowl. What a day that would be.
Forget about it. That's insane.
Give me the Archer meme. Yeah. So stop.
That does feel a little bit too soon.
I can only handle so much.
That's wild.
Yeah.
That does feel a little too soon to me. Just because when Brad Stevens outlined the timeline last month.
Why does that seem too soon? I'm starting to look at the games in January, Turp. I'm like, is he coming back on the homestand in
judging
January?
Judging off the timeline that Brad laid out last month, it feels like he's still in the scripted parts against smaller groups.
Okay,
he has to go the unscripted. There's still a ways to go, it feels like.
So, but it also feels like
he's close.
Well, it does, but don't you think it seems like it's important to him to like shatter that timeline and be like the torchbearer, like the standard for players coming back from this injury. That seems to be very important to him because the original timeline was March, maybe April. He sounds way ahead of that. So if that's important to him in any way, I think he's going to be, that Knicks game sounds like just about right.
The original timeline was 8 months, and we're 8 months and 1 week, I believe, into it. So we're kind of fitting right in there. But They are very.
The original timeline was he would be back in 8 months.
That was what his dad said after the surgery. He told ESPN that, and that was like
That's what his dad
his
said.
goal. That was his goal, though. That was 8 months. That was the closest goal, I should say. They haven't put a timeline.
No, goal, not timeline. Oh, that's fine. Yeah.
Goal was 8 months. Timeline, they haven't put one on. They still haven't put one on, so it's pretty unclear. They're not saying anything about it, and they shouldn't. Like, they don't want to get the hopes up, but it feels like with him, he understands what this team is capable of. Like, you're looking at it, they're second in the Eastern Conference. They're, second in point differential, or third, I think, behind Oklahoma City and Houston, first in the Eastern Conference. Like, all of the numbers around this team show they have the statistical profile of a contending team.
Yeah.
And I think he sees that and wants to come back. And beyond that, like, the guy's addicted to basketball. Like, this is the guy they had to beg to sit against the Hornets when they have 10 wins in January, and the Celtics are on pace for 60 wins at the time. So I think he wants to be back.
This is probably just this would be a guess on your part, but do you think it's going to be one of those things where they announce it like, hey, in a week he's going to play, or is it going to be every day they put out the injury report,
right?
And every day Jayson Tatum's been on there and it says out? Is it going to be like the day before the Knicks game, Jayson Tatum questionable? Like something like that, and then everyone's like, huh? And then it's like, then all of a sudden you see him warming up, and you're like, oh, he's playing? Like, what kind of a heads up do you think we're going to get?
This is a guess, admittedly, but I would imagine they send some sort of email out that would be like, Jayson Tatum's progressing in the recovery stage, and he's progressing to the unscripted stuff. I'd imagine there's something like that.
He's playing in Portland tonight.
It also would not surprise me at all if he just goes, Jayson Tatum available.
See, that's what I'm saying.
I don't see that
Lord.
happening. I think they will send like some sort of email and be like, okay, he's progressing in his recovery and his time.
And then everyone's going to respond with the Michael Scott gif of like, oh my God, it's happening. He's running out of the building. Yeah.
So we're talking to Terp, Pure Hoops, high noon, every Wednesday here on Jones and Keefe. If you got Celtics questions, dial us up, 617-779-7937. How much do you think Tatum's return would help something that you're harping on quite a bit in your work at weei.com? The struggles in the clutch. Another clutch loss the other night. It was a really good look for Jaylen at the end of the game. Didn't go down, bounced all around the rim, but they had an opportunity to win that game. They had bad turnovers, missed free throws. Mazzulla said after the game the other night, 50-50 balls. Detroit pretty much got all the important ones. Why are they struggling in the clutch, and how does Tatum and his return help that, if at all?
Well, first of all, Tatum's their closer. Like, that's their guy, and Jaylen's done a good job with it, getting to shots, but Jayson Tatum just gives them a whole nother layer, and it gives another guy to be out there and pose another threat. But, I mean, the clutch numbers are kind of getting a little bit too alarming. They're 11-6 since December 15th. All 6 of their losses have been in the clutch. They have to be able to win these games, and I think the biggest part that Jayson Tatum shores up that has been really highlighted in the clutch is their rebounding. Like, he's their best rebounder, and it's not particularly close. So having him out there, I mean, the other night, like, look at the end of that game. They wasted, 20 seconds in the final Detroit possession because they couldn't grab a rebound. Like, those things are going to go a long way with him helping them, but their defense has just been a mess there, too. And I think Jayson Tatum doesn't get enough credit. Really, neither him or Brown did for the last couple of years of how good they are as two-way players. And I think Tatum will go a long way in shoring that up.
Jaylen Brown named an all-star starter, so
no doubt.
Congratulations to him. Yeah, absolutely deserving. I think he's been the MVP of the Eastern Conference. I think where you start to add in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, you add in...
Even more than Cade.
Yeah, I think so.
I would agree with that.
I think he would be for me. I think the West has like 3 or 4. I know Jokic is hurt, but he still played over 30 games. So like they have like 3 or 4 guys that might even get more votes than Jaylen Brown. But I don't know if there's an Eastern Conference guy that's more deserving.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think he's definitely been the best player in the East.
Yeah.
And I think when you're looking at this, you have to kind of take into consideration the expectations that they had. And I know Detroit is exceeding them a little bit. I don't think people expected Detroit to be this good, but they were in the playoffs last year. They were a really good team last year. With the Celtics, I mean, people had them slated for the lottery. And they're the second best team in the Eastern Conference right now. Again, we mentioned the point differential, top 3 in point differential. Like, again, the statistical profile of a championship contending team. And if you're looking at the Celtics, where would they be without Jaylen Brown? Just night in and night out, what he's done offensively, defensively, just setting the tone. And, you know, he couldn't ask for anything more. And I think that wasn't overlooked when looking at, you know, the all-star starters and when looking at his standing in the Eastern Conference. Like, it's hard to argue anyone's been better than him this season.
So what? It's USA versus the world? Is that what they're doing?
Honestly,
he's an Eastern Conference starter, but is he actually going to like start in the game? Does that make sense? Is he actually going to start in the game?
I have no clue how this is going on.
Because like the
world is starters are better. The top of the world roster is better than the U.S.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even. So yesterday when I had my hot take about the Western
Yeah, good
Conference
point.
starters are like the best.
It's not
will
gonna
be
matter.
looked at. They actually aren't even the.
It's
Western
really
stars.
the whole
But
thing's
4
very
out of 5
confusing.
of those guys are international players.
Correct.
So right there, and then the East, I think, has Giannis. So yeah, he'll start. I think
Okay.
they actually worked out where they have 5 international, 5
They
American
probably,
starters.
maybe they manipulated
That's
that
actually
in
probably a
some
way for the Celtics to get another player out there, and Hugo Gonzalez, especially for the rookies. Like have an
yeah,
international
rookie
rookie
Oh,
pool
I
out
thought you
there.
meant the All-Star.
Oh no,
like,
no,
was he Turp?
no. Yeah, he does lead the NBA in or bench players in plus minus. But no, that's not going.
Oh, yeah,
I'm saying from an international
for
standpoint.
that, yeah, you're not
for
gonna snap.
to send another player out there for some sort of I know it's not the same. Obviously, he's not.
No,
an
no, no,
all-star,
but, like, he's a
Rising
part of the
Stars,
weekend.
Whatever
Yeah.
it is, he'll be a part of the weekend. I'd imagine, just given the new format.
Did they scrap the dunk contest, or is it back?
No,
again?
it's back.
It's back. Okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure after the
No, it'll
the
be
G
like
League guy
it'll be
winning
like
every year.
Hugo in
It
the
might
dunk
be.
contest.
Get him in there.
It won't be anybody good. What's going on with Derrick White? Your colleague on the beat, Chris Forsberg, is writing about this the last couple of days. He struggles every January.
Dry January.
Yeah, it's a dry January
maybe that's
for
the
Derrick White.
problem.
Maybe that is what's going on. I've actually seen him at some of these Colorado Buffalo. You saw him at the parade. I've seen him at the Colorado Buffaloes game. So yeah, maybe it is the dry January affecting him. Do you think he needs a break? Why would he typically struggle at this time of year? What's going on with him?
Yeah, I actually wrote about this the other day. I really think he's due for a break, and I thought tonight was going to be a perfect one for him. He hasn't sat since November 30th, and I know people look at it, it's like, oh, it's his job to go out there and play basketball, but he's played in 41 of their 42. Other guys have had nights off, and especially as of late, like this road trip really highlighted, he made one shot in two of the last 3 games. One shot. He's taken like 11 and multiple of them. Leads the team in minutes by a long shot here. I thought for sure tonight would have been a good night to give him a day off, but maybe they're setting it up for the back-to-back here. They got Chicago on Saturday and Brooklyn on Friday.
They're
but
probably when Tatum comes back in like 2 days, they'll rest
That's
him
when
in
they'll
that
do
one.
it. Yeah,
They have an
exactly.
extra body at that point. Yeah.
But again, since November 30th, hasn't sat 41 of their 42. I think he's due for a break. And it did him wonders. Earlier in the year, he sat against Cleveland, came back, and that was when he really started to turn things around. So, yeah, I think he's due for a break. But you can't overlook the shooting. Like, his defensively, he's been great. He's averaging a block and a steal over that stretch, but the shooting numbers have just not been good enough, especially when he's expected to be their number 2 option. He has to be better.
Trade deadline is 2 weeks from tomorrow, so we will have a couple more times to talk to you prior to the trade deadline. But you think anything brewing for the Celtics here?
I mean, they need a big man.
Yeah.
Like, if we're talking again, we've mentioned it a couple times. Like, what's the ceiling on this team? Like, why not go for it this year? It's kind of similar to the Patriots, right? Like, where you're sitting at and it didn't end up mattering for the Patriots, but like you're sitting there, it's like you have a chance to do it here. Why not go up and shore up their roster? Like, they need a big man. Like, that's the reality. And as good as Neemias Queta has been, and I think he can be your starter, but you need another big behind him. Garza's been great since he re-entered the rotation, but does anyone really, rely on that in big postseason minutes?
He
Coming
has
up?
his
Like,
moments, but no.
he has his
Still,
moments. Like,
wait till he's in the playoffs and he runs the way he does.
Oh,
That's
people
gonna
are gonna be
he's
all
always
over it.
hustling.
That's going to turn into like an even bigger thing. The way he
Fastest
lumbers around.
sprint speed in the NBA,
Yeah,
according to the tracker.
I refuse to believe
I'm
that.
with you on that
Looking.
one.
Yeah.
It is, yes. But I would imagine that they go out and they have to add to this team. We talked about it last week. The luxury tax should not be a problem. Like, you're not selling off teams. You have a team that can reach the finals, and I don't think many people would argue against that. Like, they have what it takes right now. You're a few pieces away, but just moving players to get under the luxury tax would be very, very disappointing. It would not be a good precedent to set in your first year in ownership.
Real quick, because he's the show's GOAT, and it's very well documented.
He's not my goat.
The show's GOAT, I said.
Well, that's
See his
also
dunk
not
last
true.
night?
LeBron
Not an
James
all-star
will
starter.
not be starting in the All-Star game for the first time in like 2 decades. Your thoughts, Turp?
I wonder. I don't want to make excuses for the show's
wow.
GOAT here, but I do wonder how him missing so much time at the beginning of the year, if that played a factor into it. Because I feel like if he was just out there, he would have made it just strictly off name recognition.
Do you think he'll wear the patch in the All-Star game?
I kind of hope so.
I would hope.
I mean, that's the time.
You can't have that thing made and wear it once.
It's a good-looking patch.
Sure. No, I think he's going to wear it more than once.
But I wonder how much him missing time at the beginning of the year impacted that, because solely off name recognition, and people they want to see that trend continue. It's LeBron James, like, they want him out there, but him missing he didn't play until almost December, first week of December, I think it was. So,
But it also shows you
I
how
wonder.
many insanely popular players there are in
Yeah.
the league. Like, we were doing the jersey sales yesterday, and then you look at the sheer number of votes coming in, and like all these international guys like Wembayama and Luka and Jokic, like they have big time following. So yeah,
it feels like that change in the guard is finally happening. Like, for
Yeah,
years,
right.
the NBA, it's like specifically the NBA and their marketing and whatnot, has held on so long to the LeBrons, the Currys, the Hardens,
Well,
just
it's
trying to get
crazy
whatever they
that
can.
like Durant, Harden, Curry, and LeBron are as good as they are.
They're still
right now.
very
It is
good.
Wild.
Yeah.
But Harden just moved in a ninth
Yes.
all time in scoring. It's crazy.
Those guys, like 20 years ago, all those guys would have been retired for like 6 years or 8 years,
Yeah.
right? And like they just keep playing.
Yeah,
They all came into the league sooner, and they're playing longer.
Larry Bird like barely made it to 30.
Right.
These guys are still going and still playing at a high level. Anyway, he's Justin Turpin. Check out his work at weei.com. Follow him on Twitter at Justin M. Turpin. Pure Hoops with Turp every Wednesday at high noon. Turp, excellent stuff as always. Thank you.
All right, guys.
All right, we'll talk to Turp next week.